Lions News fan report. Now it's official, Trey Hendrickson will be a Detroit Lions player. After weeks of speculation and doubts about the possible targets for the team in its search for pass rush reinforcements, the Lions have finally reached an agreement to secure one of the most productive defenders in the NFL in recent years. This move completely changes the defensive landscape of the team and solidifies the defense as one of the most feared in the league. But how did this negotiation unfold, and what are the implications for the team's future? Let's break it all down now. Since the beginning of the offseason, Detroit Lions fans have been dreaming of the possibility of adding an elite pass rusher to the roster. With the team getting closer to competing for the Super Bowl, strengthening the front seven became a top priority for management. Many names were speculated, including big stars like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. However, Crosby ended up signing a contract extension with the Raiders, and the Browns made it clear they were not willing to trade Garrett, even after the player showed dissatisfaction and requested a possible trade. With these options off the table, the Lions needed to turn their attention to other available targets. That's when Trey Hendrickson emerged as the best alternative, and the Detroit front office wasted no time making a move. The negotiation gained momentum last week when Hendrickson officially received permission from the Cincinnati Bengals to seek a trade. This made it clear that the player and the franchise were no longer aligned regarding the future, and that a separation was inevitable. From that moment on, several teams showed interest in the pass rusher, but the Lions quickly stood out as the leading candidate to close the deal. Hendrickson not only fits perfectly into the team's defensive philosophy, but also has a history with head coach Dan Campbell. Between 2017 and 2020, the player played for the New Orleans Saints, where Campbell was an assistant coach. This prior relationship certainly influenced the decision, as the Lions head coach already knows Hendrickson's playing style and work ethic. Trey Hendrickson joins the Lions after an extremely productive stint with the Cincinnati Bengals. At 30 years old, the player has had back-to-back seasons with an impressive 17.5 sacks, showing that he is still at the peak of his physical and technical abilities. Since 2020, only T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett have accumulated more sacks than he has, which reinforces his consistency and impact on the field. Additionally, at 6'4" and 270 pounds, he has the ideal physical build to play both in the running game and as a dominant pass rusher, something the Lions have been looking for to complement their defense. Hendrickson's presence alongside Aiden Hutchinson creates one of the most feared pass-rushing duos in the NFL, exponentially increasing Detroit's ability to generate pressure on the line of scrimmage and force mistakes from opponents. But the big question throughout the negotiations was the cost of the acquisition. To land Hendrickson, the Lions not only had to give up draft capital to the Bengals, but also ensure a contract that met the player's financial demands. Initially, his current contract included a $15.8 million salary in his final year, plus a $200,000 roster bonus. However, after leading the league in sacks last season, Hendrickson was clearly seeking a significant salary increase, especially after Max Crosby's recent contract extension, which raised the market value for pass rushers. The Lions knew that any negotiation involved more than just the trade itself. They needed salary cap space and a solid plan to handle Aiden Hutchinson's future extension. Detroit's front office, led by general manager Brad Holmes, did an exceptional job making this deal happen without compromising the team's financial stability. While the exact details of Hendrickson's new contract with the Lions have not yet been fully disclosed, sources close to the negotiations indicate that he will receive a restructured contract that reflects his status as one of the NFL's top pass rushers without hindering the team's future moves. This strategic approach demonstrates the franchise's long-term vision, determined to maintain a high-level defense without sacrificing financial flexibility for the years ahead. Now that the deal is finalized, Detroit Lions fans have every reason to be excited. The team's defense, which was already showing significant improvement, is now getting an elite reinforcement that could be the missing piece to turn the team into a true title contender. With Hendrickson and Hutchinson pressuring opposing quarterbacks and an increasingly solid defensive system, Detroit positions itself as a top Super Bowl contender. Additionally, having an experienced player like Hendrickson brings a positive impact to the locker room, providing leadership and guidance to the team's young defensive talents. The impact of this signing extends beyond just the defensive line. With a more consistent pass rush, the secondary will also benefit tremendously. Defensive backs such as Brian Branch and C.J. Gardner-Johnson will have more opportunities to make plays, as opposing quarterbacks will have less time to make decisions. This increased pressure will force teams to adjust their game plans, leading to more mistakes and turnovers in favor of the Lions. By strengthening the front of the defense, the entire unit becomes more effective, creating a ripple effect that could elevate the team to new heights. Another key element to consider is the effect this move has on the Lions' division rivals. The NFC North is becoming increasingly competitive, with teams like the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings constantly looking to improve. By adding a player of Hendrickson's caliber, the Lions send a clear message. They are ready to dominate the division and establish themselves as a perennial playoff contender. This move forces opposing teams to rethink their offensive strategies and invest in ways to counteract Detroit's defensive power. Beyond the field, the acquisition of Trey Hendrickson also brings excitement to the Lions fan base. After decades of struggles, the franchise is now seen as a legitimate powerhouse. The arrival of a high-profile defensive star further solidifies the perception that Detroit is building something special. Fans have been eagerly waiting for the Lions to make aggressive moves like this, and the organization has responded in a big way. With the energy surrounding the team at an all-time high, Ford Field is expected to be one of the most electrifying stadiums in the NFL this season. Finally, there is no denying that the Lions have made a statement with this move. While many teams are hesitant to go all-in, Detroit has taken a calculated risk that could pay off in a massive way. They recognize that their championship window is open and are making aggressive moves to capitalize on it. This type of bold decision-making is what separates good teams from great ones. By securing a player like Hendrickson, the Lions prove that they are not just aiming for playoff appearances, they are striving for Super Bowl glory. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, this is a historic moment. The team is solidifying itself as one of the NFL's powerhouses, and the addition of Trey Hendrickson only strengthens that trajectory. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about this move? Did the Lions make the right decision by investing in an experienced pass rusher? How do you see the upcoming season with this strengthened defense? Drop your thoughts in the comments and share your expectations for the team's future. And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Detroit Lions news and everything happening in the NFL, don't forget to follow Lions News Fan Report. We will have exclusive content, in-depth analysis, and updates on everything happening in football. So don't miss out. ***, join our passionate fan community now. ***.